Hello, I'm Frank Buckholz, Director for the Greater Langley Chamber of Commerce, representing the North Langley area. The Chamber is doing a series of videos with candidates in the 2018 municipal election in the Langley City and Langley Township. With us now is Mike Solyom. Mike is running for a seat on Langley City Council. Welcome, Mike. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you decided to run.
So I'm running for City Council just to make the government a little bit more efficient, a little bit more effective in delivering goals over the next few decades. My wife and I moved to Langley City about 2 years ago, but I've lived in Langley Township, Langley City on and off for going on almost 20 years now. And we've set down roots, we've got a growing family. I want to make sure that 10 years from now, my son can still ride his bike downtown in Langley without having to worry. And 20 years from now, he can get to his job or get to school really easily without having to worry about crazy gridlock. And 30 years from now, hopefully, he'll be in his early 30s, hoping to start his own family, and he'll be able to afford a house in Langley or something in Langley. And I want to ensure that's what happens. So I hold a master's degree in economics at the University of Toronto. I teach economics over at the University of the Fraser Valley right now. I've worked in consulting, I've worked in the education tech sector, I've worked in the construction industry, and so I think I've got a lot of good resources available to me that I can help the city with, and I'm looking forward to hopefully being elected. Thanks.
Well, it's nice to hear you emphasizing the future in that way, and I found that quite interesting, the way you're doing it 10, 20, and 30 years out. The Chamber also is thinking about issues and the future and how to go. Well, I don't think we've delineated it as nicely as you have, but one of those issues is transit and transportation, which you made reference to, and there's been a lot of discussion about rapid transit coming to Langley City and whether it should come quickly, what kind of technology it should use, and there are many other transportation issues affecting both Langleys and the entire region. What do you see as the highest priorities for Langley City Council on that front in the coming term?
So I think advocating more for SkyTrain over the light rail transit is a big thing. I know that's a contentious issue right now over the Surrey election, so we'll see how that shakes out. I don't mind LRT itself as a support role to something like a SkyTrain hub, so I'd love to see light rail from Langley City on 200th Street all the way up to Walnut Grove, personally, but I think to get to Surrey, to get to Vancouver, to get people working, getting people to their jobs, I think SkyTrain's ideal. My wife worked at Surrey Memorial. She had a great job there, she loved it, but the 45 minutes in the morning and over an hour in the afternoon or evening to get home, it was just too much. So she got out of that job. I used to take the 502 to SFU at Surrey Central. It took me 25 minutes 15 years ago. Now I can't even dream of it. I know I've spoken to somebody, it's a 45-minute bus ride. And so I think moving towards that rapid transit's key. I think doing whatever we can to get that to happen is pretty important.
Okay. And then another issue that you referenced, which is high on our list, is affordable housing. And I think younger people in particular are hard hit by this. They're not the only ones hit, but they're certainly hard hit because if you're starting out in the marketplace, it's really hard even to find a down payment. Langley City historically has had a lot of affordable rental apartments in some older buildings. A lot of seniors live in Langley City. And what can the City Council do to ensure that people are going to be able to keep their homes and to create more affordable housing for people not just looking to buy a new home, but also renting, and people who have social needs that require some extra attention?
So one thing I've noticed that Langley City doesn't seem to have much variety in the zoning that they have. It looks like they've got residential zoning, they've got commercial zoning. They don't have any mixed use zoning, they don't have any commercial underneath residential, so they don't have something where you can have some businesses in the bottom, and then various types of housing kind of as you move up the building. That said, we can also have zoning where we have mixed use, where we've got different types of social housing as a requirement, rental units as a requirement for the first 2 or 3 floors of some apartment building. And I think something like that, where if we were to look at this potential transit corridor along Fraser Highway, a lot of the zoning and development decisions I find have been fairly inefficient in terms of the use of that space. So I think having increased density along that line, just to have a mix of purpose-built rental housing, I think would be a key idea. I think that would relieve some of the pressure and make it so that developers aren't going to just be essentially rent-evicting people out of their homes.
Right. And I think that is certainly a potential possibility in Langley City.
Yeah.
You're quite right to mention that. We as a business organization represent business large and small in the community, and we want to see our members thrive. And business is good for a community. It creates jobs, provides tax revenue, and does a lot of things that make a community function. What would you do as a councillor to ensure that the business environment in the city of Langley is friendly and welcoming, not only to existing businesses, but to new businesses?
I think one of the things that we can do is increase the demand for businesses throughout the day. I think one thing that we're missing is a vibrant nightlife. I think there's a proposal out there to get a performing arts center downtown Langley, and I mean, in my mind, I would love the idea of getting out of a show at 7 p.m., walking out with a crowd of people and seeing businesses ready and open for us to go grab a dinner, grab a drink, grab a bite, grab a coffee, whatever, where if we can get the demand up, if we can get the people into Langley, not just on weekends, but throughout the week, I think that'd be good for just about every business.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you.